All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking what might initially look like a totally dry technical IT checklist, and we're flipping it into an urgent, seriously engaging playbook for your enterprise environments. We are talking about audiovisual device security, an area that routinely slips right under the radar. But as we're about to discover, ignoring it is a massive risk. So, I've got to ask, is your conference room actually plotting against you? I know, it sounds like a joke, right? But seriously, these aren't just benign screens, projectors, and microphones sitting quietly in a boardroom anymore. They are fully connected computers. And to an attacker looking for a quiet backdoor into your corporate network, well, that fancy smart display is an incredibly tempting target. Okay, here's our blueprint for locking these spaces down. Number 1, the hidden AV threat. Number 2, defending the network perimeter. Number 3, hardening devices and software. And finally, number 4, vigilance and incident response. Let's get right to it.
Starting off with Section 1, the hidden AV threat. You know, it's wild, but enterprise security usually unravels at literal step 1, passwords. Leaving a device with vendor default credentials, that's basically rolling out the red carpet for intruders. The playbook here is crystal clear. You have to deploy complex, unique passwords and store them in an approved enterprise manager, definitely not some shared spreadsheet. And here's a huge blind spot for a lot of teams: turnover. We absolutely must rotate admin passwords quarterly and instantly update them the second someone leaves the team. Oh, and never, ever share them over your chat apps.
Now think about third-party access for a second. Letting vendor-owned laptops just plug straight into your corporate production network is a massive, massive gamble. You literally have no idea what kind of malware might be sitting on that machine. The much safer route? Force vendors to use approved jump hosts or managed corporate devices. Just grant them temporary access only when it's strictly required, and revoke it the very second the job is done. And this whole concept brings us to the golden rule of managing system accounts, the principle of least privilege. Basically, you're only giving users the exact permissions they need to do their specific job, and nothing more. Instead of passing around one common admin account across the whole IT team, create individual, named accounts. If someone doesn't actually need admin rights to do their job on a Tuesday, they don't get them. Plus, proactively disabling inactive accounts shrinks your attack surface even further. Moving right along to Section 2, defending the network perimeter. All right, the absolute name of the game here is containment. Your AV devices really shouldn't be mingling freely with your highly sensitive business systems. They belong in a digital quarantine, specifically dedicated AV virtual local area networks, or VLANs. By setting up strict firewall rules, blocking unnecessary ports, and totally disabling direct internet access, we are restricting their communication solely to approved domains. You're effectively locking them in a digital box. That takes us into Section 3, hardening devices and software. So let's look at the physical footprint of that giant conference room screen. Honestly, if a feature or a protocol isn't strictly needed for a meeting, it's just an open door for bad actors. Go ahead and disable unused remote access. And definitely don't forget the physical hardware itself. An active exposed USB port is a direct avenue for someone to just casually walk in and execute an unauthorized firmware installation right there in your meeting room. No way we're leaving those active. Now, managing the software on these machines, it's kind of a delicate balancing act. Obviously, keeping firmware patched with the latest security updates is crucial, but pushing those updates straight to your production environment is incredibly risky. Seriously, one bad update can take down every single conference room in your building at once. The clever move here is validation. You've got to test those updates in a safe, isolated environment before greenlighting a full rollout. But look, hardening isn't just about keeping the hackers out. It is absolutely about protecting user privacy too. Think about it. These devices process incredibly sensitive corporate conversations all day long. To protect that data, we need to actively clear cached meeting data and credentials the exact moment a session ends. On top of that, take control of your data flow by disabling any unapproved telemetry and analytics sharing with the manufacturer. Do not let your screens phone home with your corporate secrets. Which brings us to our final core topic, Section 4, vigilance and incident response. Because honestly, a fortress is totally useless if the guards are asleep at the wheel. Digital vigilance starts with the basics: enabling your audit logs, actively monitoring for failed logins, and making sure you sync your device time using network time protocols so your logs are 100% accurate. But keep in mind, digital security literally means nothing if someone can just walk right up to the server. Installing these devices in secure locations and physically locking your equipment racks is just as important as configuring your firewall. And look, when things inevitably do go wrong, formal configuration management is your ultimate safety net. By maintaining backups of all your approved configs, meticulously documenting every single change, and following a formal process, you ensure that if a device ever gets compromised or corrupted, you have a clean, trusted backup ready to go. It's the absolute bedrock of rapid recovery. So, what if the worst actually happens and your perimeter gets breached? You need a super clear, actionable sequence ready to go. Step 1, report any suspicious activity immediately. Step 2, surgically disconnect the compromised devices to stop the spread dead in its tracks. Step 3, globally reset your passwords. And step 4, restore your devices using only those trusted, backed up configurations we just talked about. All right, bringing this whole thing together, here is your ultimate screenshot-worthy AV security playbook. Ready? Change those default passwords. Use individual admin accounts. Keep vendors completely off the production network. Isolate devices on secure VLANs. Test your firmware first. Disable unapproved telemetry. Physically lock your server racks, and always back up your configurations. The absolute biggest takeaway from our explainer today is that AV security is not some set-it-and-forget-it task. It demands active, structured defense. So I'm gonna leave you with this final thought. When was the last time you actually checked your AV gear? Don't let your conference rooms remain the weak link in your company's armor. Take this blueprint, go secure your environment, and as always, thanks for joining me and keep learning.